Hello, this is Dr. Young. I'm going to go over your week 2 work. For this week, we are going to have a discussion and a project. The discussion, you want to find an internal communication document. It could be an email, newsletter, or other means. You could actually research and maybe find an internal communication as well with a job that you already have, one that you've had previously. Any of those methods will work. So you could either use something from a job that you had, a job that you have now. You could look online and see if you can find an internal communication example within an organization, a newsletter, and then you want to attach that to post the document as an attachment, but then just that document, attach that, but then in the actual, posting window, provide a 1-paragraph summary about who the intended audience is for that document and what is the message. What's the intended message? Okay, that's part 1. Then for part 2, you choose one of these. So you can either rewrite the document in your own words using what you've learned in week 1 and 2. And when you're rewriting it, post that directly in the discussion board. In other words, you can attach the original, but I want to see the actual revision in the discussion. Provide a 1-paragraph summary to note 2 principles or concepts that you learned from weeks 1 or 2 that you use to rewrite the document. Or, if you don't want to do that, you could do this one. Assess the problems that you saw with the original document, using research to support your conclusions, and then offer a paragraph in the discussion thread that talks about the importance of effective written communication as an individual and a team member. So here's some questions that will prompt you for that last paragraph. So you either do this one or you do this one. Don't do both. Just do one or the other. So you have to do the first part, and then you do this part or that part, second part. So I don't care which one. Whatever you want to do. And then for the project, you're going to find an example of a corporate code of ethics. This should be easy to do. You can use your own employer's code of ethics. There's a million code of ethics on any company website that you can find that should have one. And then you're going to critique that code. Here's some prompting questions, but basically, what's wrong with it? What's good about it? Give me a holistic picture of this code of ethics. What could be done better? You're gonna use these bullets. Actually, you have to use these. Sorry. So what are the points of the codes of ethics? The code of ethics. What does the company do to really push this code of ethics? And how do they embed that into their website? For example, it might be a corporate website. I don't know. I'll just throw out an example. I don't know, Sony, or I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking of Sony. I was looking for something for Sony that Sony made the other day. Amazon, Toyota. I don't know. Any company that you choose. How does it reiterate its code of ethics throughout their site, throughout their products? Like when you, besides going to the code of ethics, what gives you the idea that this company is ethical and practices ethical business, transactions? They're very, how do they, I guess, embed that in their daily activities? How do you know what they stand for, besides just going for this code of ethics? Do their employees espouse these ethics when they're interacting with the public? Just kind of talk about how it urges its employees to do these things that's stated in the code of ethics. Does the code discuss the firm's values and reflect the corporate culture? And tell me how it does that. And then what are 3 improvements that you could suggest here that would make it their code of ethics better. So that's about it. As far as content, just make sure that you're, when you're writing this paper, don't include the title and reference pages in the page count. Whenever you get a page count, it's not necessarily something you have to be, I need 4 exact pages. No, I don't. But there's a guideline for a reason. So if you give me, a page and a half, of course that's not going to be enough information. So it's a kind of a guideline. But don't include the reference or title page. That's never included in a page count in this class because it's not content. Whenever you see a page suggestion, it's talking about the body of the paper only. And I do look for supporting research other than your text. Don't just list your text because that's not going to be enough. Do some other research at the South University Library or any business journals that you can access online. And everything needs to be in APA format. If you're not sure about APA format, let me show you a great resource. And I might have already done this, but I'm just reiterating it because I know that sometimes we'll have papers with memo format. But if it doesn't specifically say memo format, it needs to be an APA style. And this is a great sample paper that I would go ahead and you can just copy this link. It's a great model paper for APA style, but that's for the parts that are not in memo. So this would not be in a memo style. It's a critique, so I would say, because right here you're not required to just show. You can attach the code of ethics that you find if you want to the, when you submit your paper, you could submit that and your paper, or you could actually make it an appendix. For example, you're writing your critique in APA style, but the appendix could be you could just put the original code of ethics there. Appendix is at the end of a paper. See, here's a reference page, and then you've got your appendix. Appendixes are like examples or additional documents that you might need for the reader, and that would be a great place to put the code of ethics that you find. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you. Have a great week. Thanks.